Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every single one of you out there. Welcome to our first show of 2021. Today is January 1st, 2021, and welcome to the Julie and Milo show. My name is Julie. My dear partner, Milo, please say hello.
Hey, how you doing? Milo from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, thank you, Milo. We are excited to start our new year, our first show today, to talk about OnPassive. Yes, OnPassive is a conversation that over 400,000 of us are talking about every single day. And we love to share the passion, the love that we picked out from our show, from our community, from our OnPassive. And it all started with Mr. Ashmu Forrest. He is the CEO of a company. When he comes on, all of us are focused on Mr. Ashmore Forward. Our mind are expand and our heart are full of passion. And today, behind OnPassive is a community of people, the community of people gathering together and sharing the love, the passion, and our dreams and defined our hopes and dreams. So today, we have in our show is a special guest, and Milo would please share and introduce our guest.
All right, Julie, so excited today. We have a voice that's always on passive that you hear answering the questions. A great guy, just great, full of energy. And his name is Red. Red, come on out, Red. Redfern.
Hey, Red. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Red, how are you doing?
How
are you?
Yes, very well. There's my camera.
There he is. All right.
Yeah. Okay, guys, how are you? Nice to see you all.
Oh, it's so good to see you, man. It's good to now see a face with that voice that we always hear on OnPassive that's always answering the questions.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is a reason behind having my video off on the Q&As. The main reason I do it is because I really have to concentrate on what people are typing. And, you know, when you're concentrating on one thing, you actually don't know what they're seeing. So it's better for me just to, just to turn the video off and to take it from there. So that's why I have it off. It's a lot easier that way anyway, and I can concentrate on the questions that people are asking me.
Oh, I hear you, man, and that's great. So, Red, you're one of the old guys in OnPassive. I mean, you've been around forever, almost since the beginning. So, tell us a little about when you come in.
Okay, so I joined in September of 18. I was sponsored in by a good friend of mine, a guy called Derek Ventnor. I believe we're part of Ken Russo's leg, and I've been online for a while now within the online marketing genre, I suppose. I had my fingers burnt, like, you know, my story is so typical of so many people who get involved with OnPassive. I've been involved with platforms, programs, all the usual, invest money, promises of rate of returns, ROIs. And inevitably, you either keep sticking money in because you're scared of leaving, because you have this big promise, or the rate of return dries up, or you have to qualify to get your money out, and blah, 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 blah. You know, we've all been there. And to be honest, I was actually looking around for a product-based business or something away from crypto and this so-called promise of returns on a weekly or monthly basis. Anyway, so Derek said, "Hey, Red, listen, you've got to listen to this guy. I've known him for a while online. He's been in a few other things as well, but he's such a good guy. You really need to listen to him." So back in those days, there was nothing. It was just the two videos from Ash Mufareh himself, and he was basically, you know, he had this vision. You know what Ash is like anyway. You have to really concentrate on what he's saying, because he's a bit like the old comedians. You know, they'll start off on one track on a story and then they diverse onto another one, but you've got to stay with this one, because at the end it actually all comes back to the middle, and the story sort of connects in and all the rest. Well, his videos back then were very similar. He was so hyped up, full of passion, and there was just something that resonated with me, really. The major thing that resonated really for me was his vision of what he wanted to do for the normal person. That's me, you guys here, and every single founder that's already here in OnPassive. He wanted to give us a fair shot without ripping us off, something that people could be proud of, something that they know is real, legitimate, and all the rest of it. And for $97 at the time it was then, I thought, do you know something? I spent more on a night out. And I thought, let's go for it. So I really jumped in without knowing too much about it. And that same day that I got in, I sponsored my good friend and business partner, Peter Rogers, in as well. And subsequently, since then, we've been working together now for nearly 2.5 years, building OnPassive. You know, we're very, very passionate about OnPassive and what it has for us and what it's actually going to give us and everybody else in the future. You know, it's a fantastic idea, and everything. I'll just say this one point before we move on. Everything that Ash said back in those 2 videos, all the way back in July, August of 2018, you know, it's come to fruition. He promised us we would have a founders back office. We didn't have a name for OnPassive, let alone the Go Founders back office then, but he promised we'd have one. He promised that we would have links that we can share with people that are only for our own personal links. We've got those now, and we have, like, I think about 140 odd that are in our back office. He promised us we would be able to have an autoresponder in our back office to use. We have got this. You know, everything that he said has come to fruition. Yes, there's been delays. We all understand that. But if anybody has got any business knowledge at all, when you're launching something this big, and don't forget, it wasn't going to be this big. It was initially just going to be a marketing platform with maybe 15 to 20 different products and services within it. And since then, he understands how big it can be. And this is why we've grown to where we are now. But everything he has said has come to fruition so far. You know, I trust the guy implicitly. And, you know, I'm really excited for the future.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for confirming it. I mean, I see that, but I need to have more confirmation. Not I do myself personally, but I know that there's a lot of people wanted to hear that confirmation. Now, I'd like to get back with you a little bit on OnPassive and a little bit later, but today I'd actually like to know about you. I know that you've been in several other things. You've been in the Army, you've been a fireman, and I know that you are also been a chef for 40 years. I'd like you to talk a little bit about that and also about your hobbies, and then we can go back and connecting being a chef with OnPassive in a bit later.
Yeah, that's fine. My background is my parents have always been in the hospitality trade. They've had pubs, restaurants, and hotels, and I've grown up in these since, you know, all my life. So it's kind of in your blood to a certain extent. And when I was hitting 16, 17, obviously the teenage problems occur like they do with all kids and parents. You know, it happens. But there was a trade show that they used to have 2 days a year down in London at Earl's Court, which is a lovely old Victorian place. But it was where everyone went to meet other people within the trade, and also to buy goods, get ideas, blah, blah, blah. And they also have shows on there and competitions. Now, I went down with my dad when I was 16, and he went off to see his mates and buy stuff and all the rest of it. And there was one of these live competitions on. There was like 12 guys all in a row cooking stuff up and everything. And my dad was off doing what he did. So I thought, I'll watch this. So anyway, I watched this, and it took about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like this. And it ended up where the guy who won was an army chef. And you know something, I thought I could do that. You know, I watched him all the way through, and I thought I could do that. So anyway, when we came back in the car and everything, I said to my dad, I said, I want to join the army. Now, my dad used to be in the army, and his dad used to be in the army as well. My grandfather went through the Second World War. My dad caught the back end as well of the Second World War, so it's sort of in my blood as well. So I joined the army, and I joined the Army Catering Corps. So that's really where I learned my trade, was when I was in the Army Catering Corps. But I've been very lucky to have my mother and father who are good cooks as well. Subsequently now, both my kids are good cooks, both my sisters are good cooks, you know, because you learn it as you're going along. And when I joined at just 17, in those days, you have to be 18 to join the army, but they take what are called boy soldiers. So I went to the Army Apprentice College, Catering College, and I was there for 2 years. And this was in 1980. Anyway, the story behind all this is, after towards the back end of the second year there, you know, I was learning my cooking and everything. Anyway, one of the chefs put me forward for Hotel Olympia, which is this trade show in Earl's Court. So I did this dish, and I trained for about 4 months, night time after I finished work, prepping everything and learning it. And I went on and I won the gold medal for this competition. And it was also the same competition that I watched the other army guy watch when I was 2 years previously.
Awesome.
So it's a bit of a fate type of thing, you know. I did exactly the same competition as he did, and 2 years later, I won the same gold medal that this guy won.
Wow, that's so
That
awesome.
is awesome. That's awesome. I mean that it come back around like that, you know. But
yeah.
Oh man.
The dish actually was called fillet of sole de Veronique. If you ever want to look it up, it's a really old sort of fish dish with grapes and stuff. Anyway.
Oh my God! I need to get the recipes from you, because we love cooking. My daughters and I.
Yeah, I suppose my trade that I've learned is there's a very old French chef going back to the turn of the century, early 1900s, guy called Escoffier. And that's really my background of cooking, which is, in a nutshell, everything that tastes good that's really bad for you. That's just my style of cooking. So lots of butter, lots of cream, you know, reductions, all the stuff that tastes really good but it's really bad for you. So that was he was one of the old original French chefs, you know, different stock pots boiling away there for a week, and you're taking all the juices out to make the sauces, all that sort of stuff.
That's awesome, man. So we always get back around to OnPassive, you know, on this show. It seems like we bring it back around to OnPassive. OnPassive, you know, we say is changing the world one person at a time, and it started with Ash McFarland. You know, and when we first started, you probably remember, you know, we kind of wondered how much money are we going to make, you know, and no longer is that the case with OnPassive. Most of the people, you know, it's not about what we can make now. It's about what can we give back? What can we bless other people with, you know? So talk a little about that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, Milo, in what you're saying. That I mean, initially when I got in, the same as everybody else, the number one reason everybody gets in is because they want to earn some money. That's right. Absolutely fine. You know, and it's the reason I joined. It's probably the same reason as 410,000 other people have joined. But the funny thing is if you plug in to what is happening with OnPassive, if you go to the webinars and you read the updates and you actually go to different Zooms, you plug into Facebook groups and all the rest of it, over a period of time, I'm not talking about a month, but over a period of time, you actually start, when that penny drops of what you have your hand on here as far as OnPassive is a business, because obviously initially when you join, you're told by your sponsor, or you've watched a Zoom or whatever it may be, you sort of got a bit of an idea of how it all works. You're not quite sure, but you think you sort of know. And then the more you learn, the more you get into OnPassive, the more avenues of earning potential you have within OnPassive. It really starts frying your brain. And I mean, it's amazing how many people say once you're in OnPassive, you just don't sleep well anymore. You know, we're all in we're all in the same boat here. And the reason none of us are sleeping well here is because your brain's going overtime with all these different avenues of earning potential that we have all in one place for this one price. And you're absolutely right in what you said, Milo, is I forgot a long time ago about how much money I'm going to make. You know, I am very lucky that I've got a big size team. But do you know something? It doesn't make any difference whether you've got one person, 0 people, 10,000, 15,000, 8,000. It doesn't really matter what you have right now. Right. Everybody has a fair shot at this. Whatever your level of earning that you want, it is available with OnPassive. And that's the beauty about OnPassive is if you're a person who's looking to earn $500 a week, you know, $2,000 a month, that person, for a lot of people, a majority of people worldwide, that is enough money to get rid of your job. You know, if you've got $2,000 a month coming in, most people, that is an average wage for most people. You know, and that is their target. And fair play to everybody who has that target in mind, because this is what OnPassive is all about. It's all about giving people what they want, not what OnPassive wants. It's all about what they want. Now, I've probably got a bigger target than other people have, and that's because I've been in it longer. I can see a bigger picture, and so you know the dynamics of everything sort of change as you're going along. You know, this is what we're trying to do with the UK team now. We're trying to get everybody together, because one thing that OnPassive has taught me specifically than anything else is we are stronger together. You know, we are one team, and you can't be an individual and get to that big figure that you want to. You have to work with other people, regardless of whether they're in my team or not. I know one thing, it all comes back round again, you know, and this is the beauty about OnPassive. I've never come across a company, you probably haven't, Milo, either, or you, Juliet, you know, that help so many people get to whatever target they are looking for. I mean, it's, you know, I do a presentation Zoom on a Monday night for the UK. You know, I'm doing this for everybody. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for everybody. You know, us in the Leadership Council, we are doing it for everybody, not for ourselves, but to help everybody succeed, because we know the more we succeed as a company, the more we all collectively benefit from it.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I know there are a lot of people still have questions about OnPassive, but I wanted to take to the point where a lot of people who are not plugged in and just keep asking the question, when is the launch? When is the soft launch? I am, as a woman, I had my children, so I understand about the process about being pregnant, the pregnancy process. And I know that Ash talked about it. When the baby is ready to go out, the baby will get out. And I know you brought on a really good point as being a chef, preparing food and cooking and the process. So if you could talk to us about that, process, starting from preparing it until you actually serve a nice dish.
Okay, there's a French term that is called mise en place. Okay, and that means preparation prior to service. Now, I've used this analogy actually in one of my videos as far as cooking is concerned to how OnPassive works. And the analogy is pretty much spot on, you know, of how it all works. Now, if you take OnPassive as a restaurant, okay, and you're getting ready for opening night. Now, I'm a chef. Obviously, you have to have the restaurant has to be decked out right. You have to have all the cutlery, tables, chairs, ambiance, lighting, all that sort of gear all ready. And that's fine. You can get all that done anytime, and it doesn't really, you know, before we launch. You can get it done a long, long time ago. The same, you can apply that to OnPassive. You know, we've got the offices now, it's all decked out, we're ready. So we've got our restaurant there all ready to rock and roll. We've got nice tables, chairs, the waiters are ready, you know, and the front of house is all ready. We're all ready there, you know, that part's all done. So the next part is we're back in the kitchen now, okay, which is the hub. This is where everything kicks off, you know, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as your last meal, and people if you don't get that first meal right that they have, they're not going to come back again, right? They're going to tell all their friends, you know, and that's it. You know, you're only as good as your last meal, so you have to get it spot on from the day you launch. So we go back to the kitchen now. Mise en place is preparations prior to service. So that means getting all the ingredients ready, okay, for these various dishes. Now, OnPassive is a bit the same as a menu. When you go into a restaurant, you've got a menu, okay? You haven't just got one dish. You've got lots and lots of dishes on there, okay, that you can choose to have if you want to. You can have 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to in a restaurant. Now, the products of OnPassive are exactly the same. They have 50 different products. So look at 50 different products as your menu, okay? So you've got a menu of 50 different products. Now, within OnPassive, you can decide to just have one as a customer and pay for one, or you can have a loyalty card, you pay once, and you can choose all 50 anytime you like, okay? So you look at it a little bit like that. That's you as a reseller. Let's go back to the kitchen then. So all these products in OnPassive and the dishes in the restaurant, okay? We're now preparing all of these ingredients to make up this dish. With all the products of OnPassive, just one product, you've got so many things that you have to get ready, okay, before that product is launched. If you don't get the products and ingredients ready before people start coming in the door, what's going to happen? You get behind, the dish doesn't taste right, the products don't work properly, and all the rest of it. So this is where the soft launch comes in. Hotels, restaurants, bars, they all do exactly the same. What do? Before they open to the public, what do? They invite their mates round. Let's open it just for people we know, so we can test and try all of these things before we open to the public. This is soft launch. So you're in the kitchen, you've got your mise en place ready, all your ingredients are there, all your chefs are ready, okay? Your friends come in, they're ordering, you're making it all up, and you're sending it out, okay? This is your products. This is what we're going to be doing as founders. We're going to be trialing all of these products. Now then, once you serve that dish and you sent it out, if it doesn't taste nice, what's going to happen? You then have got to start changing things to make sure it does taste nice. This is the same with the trialing and the soft launch. If something doesn't work properly or whatever, then we can put it right before it goes out to the public. And this is what it's all. This is the same as restaurants and hotels or whatever it may be, and with OnPassive. This preparation we're doing now means that when we get to launch the world, it's going to be launch, bang. Everyone's going to love the food. Everyone's going to love the products. They're going to tell their friends about it. More people are going to come. They're going to be queuing around the corner just to get a table at the restaurant. And that's how it works. But if you don't get it right, then you're closing up shop and you're trying again somewhere else. Now, I understand the frustration of people. We've been told different time zones or whenever it be. But the one thing I will say is Ashmi Farah has never given a date. Right. Yes, he's said things that might suggest that we'll be doing it whenever. But if anybody has had any business experience of launching anything, they know that things happen that are out of their control. And it's just the way it is. All I'd say to these people is, please just relax into the knowledge that you are in a safe environment. This isn't an M&M where people are going to run off your money. The promises aren't empty promises. You know, if you ever come across a CEO who puts so much time and effort in being in front of a camera for you guys, and this is it at the end of the day, is he is completely transparent. He's completely open about what is going on. Yes, he's not telling us exact things, and that is one reason and one reason only. If I'm in a restaurant and I've got this dish, it's my signature dish, okay? I only know about it. I've told a few people, they know and everything, but the only way you can get to try that dish is to book a table in my restaurant. Why would I go out onto the internet and tell everyone about it before they got there? They ain't going to bother coming, are they? And it's exactly the same with OnPassive. Why give somebody a heads up of what it's going to be when they can then come in and get it? It puts us ahead of the game. Okay, so the day we launch, we are instantly going to be at least a year ahead of anybody trying to copy any of our products.
That's
Absolutely.
that is an awesome, man, way to bring it out, man. That's just awesome. So, one other thing, we're running out of time, but I want to get something quick in here. Is tell us how you think OnPassive can help the restaurants. I know they're going through pandemics, and they're starting to now
Okay,
serve.
this isn't just to compare restaurants and OnPassive how it's going to work. Every single person who comes to OnPassive gets a 7-day free trial. Okay, so I'm going to give you an analogy. Every single restaurant now has a website, especially now using QR codes where you can scan it, it goes up onto your web page, doesn't it? You look at the menu and you get it all off there. If your web page is hosted on the OnPassive platform for the business that is approved by them, every single person who comes to that web page gets an automatic 7-day free trial to use all of those 50 different tools and products and services of OnPassive. Now, I don't know what proportion of those people will want to use those, but I know one thing's for sure. Every single person will have a look, won't they, at those? So by having your website posted onto that OnPassive website, every single time they log in to look at your menu or your website, they are instantly going to get a 7-day free trial to use the OnPassive products and services. If they sign up, guess what? They're in your team. So not only have you got your restaurant or your hotel or whatever it may be, you're also going to then pick up revenue for them being in your team underneath and earn the commissions from them.
Awesome.
Wow. That's such incredible. I know we're running out of time, and I know we can talk about this all day, but I'm going to throw this at you, Red. What is one thing or two things? Let's take just a minute or two and talk about it. What is one thing or two things that OnPassive Go founders know nothing about you? You got to give us that. One or two things that we don't know about you.
I used to be in the Army ski team. Skied with the British ski team back in the day in the 80s. I've cooked for the Queen in Windsor Castle. Duke of Kent, cooked for him. What other things? What other things that people know about me that don't know about me? I'm just asking my wife. I don't. She probably knows more about me than I do.
Awesome.
That is so cool. I can't wait to actually enjoy the plate that you prepare for Go founders. I'm just putting that to you right now.
No worries. But I mean, do you know something? I'm the easiest person to cook for. I eat anything, man. I honestly, I am the easiest person to cook for. Honestly. Yeah. People say, "Oh, you're a chef," and you dissect stuff, and I just eat it, man.
I like the food you said you like to make, man. The kind that no one.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Man. That's the kind I like to eat too.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I know we're coming at the end of our shows now. Milo, any last words from you, Milo?
Red, it was so awesome that you would take the time and because I know you're busy and that you would take the time and come in and be on the Julie and Milo show. And we really appreciate you coming and sharing all your knowledge and everything with us. And it's just great to know you as we get to know more of the OnPassive family per se. They're all freaking great. It's just all great people. So thank you again for coming on.
You're welcome. I'd just like to say to everyone out there, keep using the Q&A. I am there to have my brains picked. If I don't know, I'll find out. But the one thing I will please say to everyone is don't keep asking me when launch is going to be.
That's it. That is the no, right? Thank you so much, Red. There you have it, everyone. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe, please like it, comment it. And if you hear this message and you haven't been in OnPassive, please get back to the person who shared this message with you. And if you are a founder and you haven't plugged in and you're wondering, why is it that 400,000 of us keep talking about none of us have received any penny out of it, and why we are here, and we keep talking about it. So if you are a founder, you haven't plug in and get back to the person that invited you, and get back to the person that sponsored you, and say how blessed you are to be here. So thank you, Red. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for watching our show. See you next time. Happy New Year. 2021 is going to be a great year.
Awesome. Good night from Nashville. Thank
Take
you.
care, everyone.